I got to get that out first. I know you got plenty of tape. Uh, who am I? A lot of people don't recognize my face because where I came from, where I made my history, they only wanted to put the face of Diana Ross and the Temptations on everything. So therefore, the people that made the music, we were in obscurity. But I'm Jack Ashford from Motown in Detroit. I'm one of the original funk brothers that recorded all of the music that came out of that venue. It's a funny thing, when you're looking back on it, it was almost 60 years ago, and they're still playing our music. It must have meant something to somebody. But one thing I said, when the Funk Brothers received a star in Hollywood, I made a statement that has resonated around the world a few times, and that was that when we were at Motown, we didn't cut records for white people. We didn't cut records for black people. We cut records for everybody on this planet, and everybody on the planet endorsed what we did. Motown was a small company, and it was known as Motor City because all the auto industry was located there. Let me tell you something. When you've been over 50 years in a business, over thousands and thousands of stages, you pick up a lot every place you go. You get a little essence of what it's about, the venue, the history. I just can't begin to tell you. It was only 12 guys at Motown, 12 funk brothers. I'm one of two that's left. And each one of them was an incredible musician. It's a funny thing, wherever we went together, we cut a hit. We recorded 6, sometimes 7 times a week, 7 days a week. And every session that we cut for 12 straight years, a gold or platinum record came out of there. Every time we went in the studio, we cut a hit. And I've worked with many musicians since then, different times. I've worked with Elton John, U2. I've worked with anybody that really had a hit record. Jack Ashford was on it because no one played like me. And I didn't go there to play tambourine. I went there to play vibes with Marvin Gaye. Had no idea that this would be the thing. So I did some research on the tambourine. And this is something that you can only get at Dr. Dove's office. There was a tambourine player before Jesus was born. And her name was Miriam, a female. But she wasn't famous. Her brother was famous. And so all of your fans and customers can go and check their Bibles to find out what her brother's name was. His name was Moses, the lawgiver. I'm using this time to say this, even though it may not reach the ears of the people, but you need to know it. That I always promised that any time I had a microphone and a camera, I'd bring this up. Because that microphone and that camera came from someplace. It started someplace. It started with Jesus. And I had no idea that Miriam was as famous as she was until I started playing this. But I started off, I told you, playing vibes. I loved it. Lionel Hampton, Terry Gibbs, all the great vibe players. But God had something different for me. He wasn't going to kill Lionel Hampton to make me famous. He wasn't going to do that. He said, I'm going to make you famous, but I'm going to give you an obscure instrument that no one else is playing today. And from what I understand, and from my track record, no one else plays it like me. I had no idea that that was waiting for me. But when I put the tambourine on Dancing in the Street by Martha and the Vandellas, it became a part of history. This tambourine was synonymous with the Motown sound. Whenever you hear that was me. And it brought me to wonderful experiences. And they always like a nova. You say, oh wow, a bright light, what is that? And that's the way I felt when I came to Dr. Dove's. But Motown came up with such devastation musically until it became a mecca. A mecca. People don't really know what that means. But in Detroit, it was Detroit and Motown. In Memphis, it's the Dove Dentistry. They're mecca here because they drew me here. I used to pass this place a lot, going to get barbecue. But I didn't eat it because I didn't have the chops for it until my wife introduced me to Dr. Dove to give me some work. And as you can see, I eat the bones now. And it worked out very well. Dove Dentistry has meant a lot to me because I've recommended a few people that have come here and left satisfied. And one thing, it doesn't seem like a dentist's office. You know, when you mention dentist, first thing people think about is a needle. Well, Dr. Dove's place is a little different. It's more of a homegrown feel, something that you can identify with. You feel comfortable. Even though I don't see him with my pictures around here, I let him go with that. But the most important thing is his work is perfect. His work is something that you'd be proud of. Because there's only one person I used to admire their mouth, and that was Sammy Davis. I used to see him in Vegas, and he smiled at everything. He smiled at a train wreck. But the thing is, his teeth look great. And now that I'm in Memphis, Tennessee, Dr. Dove got me to the point where I can smile at everything, even a train wreck.